Yeah, we have Core facing Envy on their best map. Like, this is the tried and true Envy that we're used to. And then KaneZera with the ISO can deny a lot of that sniper, at least the op buys from Core, which definitely made a dent in them last map.
Yeah, like when you think about some of those rounds on the last map that really swung the momentum in Core's favor, it was just Alum kind of farming with the operator. This time around, Envy, like the desk was highlighting, this is their tried and true composition. We know that it works out, and I am super excited to see them kind of go into it because I'm expecting that we're going to be seeing that kind of Envy magic that we expected from the squad. Of course, Core, nothing to sneeze at either. We've seen them play. They seem like they're rehearsed. They know what they're doing. And so it really is going to come down on how well they can utilize that Neon Breach combo utility to find early picks to shut down these members of Envy.
That's a big shutdown from Tuzi. After Core got so much good info from Logan's camera at C, Envy gonna pivot, play the mind games, but can they play a shooting game? Well, if you look at Extra on the front line, surely, but man, the clone ultimate plot armor there for Envy to still be living in this round. 2 versus 2. Tuzi good for 2. Ring around the rosy. Ion playing cat and mouse, but who was the prey? Ion doesn't know where the secondary is, turns and burns on Tuzi, knows where Darkest is at the end, but doesn't have the HP for it, so Core take another pistol.
Yeah, an excellent job from Core. Really, finding that first pick onto KaneZera is unbelievably lucky. Even with the shield popped, it's just kind of that two-step that we see Core pop out with. Find the headshot, shut down that duelist, and then you see that, sure, the rest of Envy, they're still more than capable to make this happen, but it gets a lot more difficult for them to really fire on all cylinders when they're going up against Core, who are shooting immaculately. So Core, they win that one out. Tuzi and Darkest both with 2 kills apiece. A lot of Guardians being bought up here as Envy once again are looking to gain space, but will do it after taking quite a bit of damage as they funnel towards this A site.
And no first aid kit there. Aftershock gonna break up Envy, and man, the uses of the clones have been so massive for Envy, but still can't break through this choke, at least not easily. Rotations from Alum trying to get behind Envy. It's a nice off-angle swing, but it just comes down to a death match, and it ends up being an ace for Alum.
In the midst of all of that too, like, it was so chaotic, but then yeah, Alum just kind of popping out at the right time. You know, obviously some of the members of Envy were a little bit lower HP, and so it just requires one bullet and suddenly Alum finds a kill. But now that Neon is 1 ultimate orb away from getting the overdrive online, it was a good effort by Envy to make that flood in happen, and yet still Core, they stand their ground, they dig their heels in to that A site, and they don't yield any of the space. This time around, Alum going really far forwards here to secure that ultimate orb to get Nerve closer to having the Hunter's Fury online, as Envy, uncharacteristic from them, but they slow things down completely. They're changing their pace up on Core, and this is going to be interesting because this should allow them, when they decide to, pop onto one of these sites and be able to find a lot, given the information denial that they are doing right now.
Yeah, you've really dwindled Core's bonus down to mostly a bunch of sheriffs and Envy. I think it's been great to see how they're able to fight back against Core, but also Core not letting the double tap be taken advantage of. Wow. But hey, Ion completely splits open B, teleports in, will bodyguard the left door, and with the smoke in place, it's barely keeping the 2 teams apart.
Oh, no way.
But a different opening. How did Tuzi get that? But anyway, Envy have a play in their name, but they don't have control of main, so they just have to bunker down and hope for the best.
Excellent camera as well to get that information so they know where the flood is coming.
All right, here's the flood in off of the Alum util. Beautiful setup. Does affect Envy. Now trying to get around. It's all about the rotations and popping. Oh, looks away at the worst time. Did enough to Tuzi, though, for Exter to end the chapter in their favor.
Wow, but like, it should not have been as close as it was. Core with the wraparound completely. And one of the big things that I've noticed on the playstyle of Envy is when Inspire goes for those long lurks, is able to find excellent timings into the back of the retakes there. And what Core were doing there, where they were more or less checking for that. Inspire didn't take that opportunity this time around. Ion really opening up the site for the rest of the squad, but that allowed Core to kind of come through from behind, which made things a lot more complicated for Envy. They weren't necessarily expecting that much amount of pressure. And so Envy, they barely scraped by here on that last round. And this time around, they will have more and less enough money to make sure that they've got full armor as well as weapons, a little bit short of being 100% there. While Core, they have the economy to make sure that they do this. And most importantly, they do have one of their more important ultimates online for Alum if they do decide to go into that overdrive state.
And to see who can get ahead in this map, because look at where the economy is. It's a struggle bus on so many fronts, but a dimensional drip, trying to get info all the way towards A, but no, it's all a fake. And now C is being explored. Was there a lot of trips, but not at the front door of C, so Logan will just stay put until this breach gets into position. Dark is going through a mid flank. It's going to get spotted by the camera there of Inspire. How much does Core want to commit to this flank? Inspire has to keep them in check, and we'll have reinforcements of Poppin, who's more getting into a position for the Hunter's Fury on the post plant. Not a lot of time for Core. They got to develop, and that's a good start for Alum on the flank. Poppin will have to take his 1v1 while the rest of Core ready to fault line in or aftershock off of Darkest. Paranoia in 2 from 2Z. Here's the Core swing. Envy go toe-to-toe, but just can't withstand against the Core teamwork.
Like, we aren't seeing Envy feel comfortable in these post plants. Yeah, they're able to get the spike down, but you see Core swimming around like sharks, immediately getting the clamp in onto them. And yeah, you know what? Inspire usually does win those against somebody else, but against Alum right now, who has been unreal this series so far, loses that one out. And as a result of that, like, it all starts to fall to pieces. You see Envy are too scared to back up. They have to just hang out onto the site. They have to just hold these cross angles and hope for the best. While Core, they dissect in one by one onto the site and make sure to find their man, trade when necessary, and make it an unwinnable situation from Envy. I am really impressed with what I've been seeing from Core. And once again, like, this is one of those squads that has been slowly getting better throughout the entirety of Challengers, and it really feels like they're in their stride right now.
Oh, wait, Exter's just gonna take that teleport? Tuzi had the drop off. I thought Exter had the edge, but at least it evicts Core for now. Core definitely have the better weaponry to deal with this.
Spike planted.
Wait, I could see the timing here of Inspire. And actually, Envy are going to push Garage. Tuzi's in a lot of trouble. And Core thought they had the time, but they're going to try and reinforce what Tuzi has left behind. Alum runs straight into the barrel. Logan picks up 2. And now we have a game on our hands. And it's Exter and Poppin versus the world. And man, the clutch factor from Core is just different. Poppin will have the Hunter's Fury. He'll be in main. He just has to deny the spike getting diffused, and time is running out for Core to win the round.
Oh, the ultimate.
Oh, the Hunter's Fury could be tagging Darkest. He's on his last life. And Nerf won't have the time at this point. What a turnaround for Poppin.
Clutch.
Jeez, I mean, it's not an ideal scenario, but at least you walk away with a round win. I was going to compliment Envy on the flood in there. I thought they were doing a good job at just overwhelming, once again, in those close quarters and making sure that any opportunity that we see Core Youth get slapped down. In the midst of all of that, Alum popped the ultimate and immediately died. This kind of 3-man pressure worked out perfectly, and then it just comes down to Logan walking in there, rifle ready, and finding those kills. Poppin forced into a corner, but had the Hunter's Fury online, lets it rip at the perfect opportunity, and shuts down any hope of a defuse. So Envy, they're still in this one, but still Core are fighting tooth and nail for all of these rounds.
Oh, kill contract, but didn't get Alum, so he gets to just scurry forward and catch Envy on the back foot. But at least Kane Sarah's back from the job. Ink hits the paper, and you have Envy in a 2 versus 2. Quite a chaotic round. By the way, Core on the flank, and see if Inspire reacts on time, and he does, but now it's going to be a bloodbath, and we haven't even seen the inside of the site until now, so Inspire has a window to plant in. Okay, double hats.
Trading ultimates.
Not expecting that. Okay, wait. Inspire gets a heads up. Now it's just a mind game at this point. Inspire's just gonna lay back and see if Logan walks into his sight line. Logan has to cross into it. Logan with the delay, and okay, you tag up Inspire, and Logan wins at a 25 HP. There's no way.
Oh no, like you see as soon as Inspire goes into the camera, Logan walks across and you see Inspire go, wait a second, I just saw that. Oh no, toggles out of the camera, swaps just to the right, but Logan's watching it like a hawk, finding the kill there. Just unlucky timing to swap into that utility as it was a little bit of a standstill. One thing I would like to point out though, Alem went right past cainzero where cainzero was ultimating. And so, you know, just kind of got all that space for free, sure. You know, wasn't out of the ultimate just quite yet, but still, it was kind of funny. It was like, oh, you would have
like
expected
what I
them to watch. Yeah, like, you know, cainzero is coming back. Hey, maybe we should be ready to shut that down. But instead, Alem just kind of runs it down. So a little bit of a missed opportunity. And Envy right now 2-4. Alem forced backwards.
Alem is still trying to test those waters after they were quite murky. Envy's always investing some kind of CC at A main, but Alem won't be punished yet. We'll just lay back and let the Outlaw do all the talking. Envy don't have a lurk, and ew, that's a big ping too. Envy not going to take care of that recon in time, so gonna drone up through mid. Envy are just going to decide to re-clear elsewhere, and now Alem gets to take advantage of the silence, and it's just gonna get even worse.
A bit of option paralysis at work there. Really, Core sprung on the moment that Envy hesitated, and you know what happens when you hesitate? People die. And in this case, that was Envy dying. So easy opportunities for Core to take as the spike goes down here. They're so far forward.
Oh, not a lot of bullets left in that stinger though, but you take care of the X factor from Core, and cainzero manages to escape, but just gets double killed. Poppin couldn't back him up in time. Exter 1 versus 4. Can at least get one for the road. Dimensional Drift and Core up to 5, and this could be their ticket to playoffs on their horizon.
Yeah, that pressure that we saw cainzero do on that last round, that's something that if you've been watching Envy, you expect to happen a lot. You expect cainzero to try and take that additional space, make it uncomfortable, and usually we'll be able to walk away with a kill or two. Gets one there, immediately ducks out, still somehow alive in the midst of all of it, and yet just lines up perfectly to allow Darkus to find an easy 2K spray down. 2 headshots just lining up there right through Poppin into Kane. So a great just kind of spray down from the IGL on Core, as Envy will be now taking this time out. This is not what they expected. And honestly, there's still a lot of those gaps that we identified on that first map, where usually it's just overwhelming presence, you know, endless aggression. I feel like those are 2 phrases that really defined Envy's play style. Core have more or less taken that into account and have been playing really well around that. As soon as we see Envy try to be aggressive, Core are really good at controlling the map to force them into uncomfortable positions where they can no longer be that aggressive without getting countered. And so I really have to commend Core for that, you know, just preparation coming into this one. It's looking good.
I think this Dimensional Drift Judge potential play from Exter could be really good too. If he just pops up behind C, we'll see if Logan will get out of the way in time, but there's been a lot of respect from the Core side to just give up the site and play for retakes. And when it comes to A, really fight fire with fire. There's so many different looks out of Core. Dimensional Drift Judge on its way here for Exter. Not gonna get any sightlines in the garage. Meanwhile, the rest of Core just walk down mid, get a flank going, and that means that Exter will have to watch that after teleporting back. And it's just not working out for Envy post timeout. They've already dropped 2 people, and Core still have 5 for the retake, including a Hunter's Fury. Nerf is already taking a step back to pull the trigger on that.
1 enemy remaining.
And he's already tagged up Envy. This is not going well. Even when Envy take the initiative, no first blood in their favor.
Man, I'm so impressed by QOR right now. This last round, understanding coming into this, yes, exactly like you said, Lemon. It's going to be Exeter, pop the Dimensional Drift, has the drift in hand, going to be scouting us out, going to try and overwhelm us that way. Let's take the fight to them. This way, even if they do have that Dimensional Drift, we can run right past it and catch them where they're not expecting us, and then we can take that. Even if they pushed into Envy, they were ready to take the fight into them. What ended up happening that round was Exeter used the Dimensional Drift, found almost no value out of the ultimate completely, and QOR were able to systematically move into that C site once again, kind of crossing their T's and dotting their I's. They completely mitigated everything that Yoru ultimate was supposed to bring to the table, and as a result of that, Envy just simply were not able to get anything going.
Zera took some damage just being in C main there, so bit spam from QOR just are okay giving up their position in order to not let these orbs go so free, because there's been a lot of orbs to the ascent on the ascent side of things. 1v1, GOAT versus GOAT, but Zera locks in, and Poppin gives the advantage to Envy, and man has secured the A site, meaning Tuzi has to teleport using the ult, and does he sync up or does he get proactive? He's smoked off and heard where the spike was getting planted. Tuzi, cerebral play to give QOR a chance in this round, but a chance is looking pretty slim. Still a 1 versus 3 for Logan. All right, let's get the 1, but took a lot of damage. Logan have to assess another angle. Mainly, is Envy flanking me? Usually the answer is always yes. And Spire will catch him on the exit. And that means Envy cut the lead in half.
A great round from Envy that time around. We see them just try to engage and take the timings. It's more relying on that individual metric of skill. And it's so fast that you don't see QOR really have an opportunity to react on it. Like the way that Poppin finds those kills one right after another was phenomenal. And look at this, Inspire just hops over the trap wire. So goes more or less unknown, but at the same time, you know, at that point it was kind of happening there. And so great stuff from Envy to stabilize them a little bit. But they have to continue to get these rounds together. Otherwise, their momentum is gonna not really be existent. You can't rely on a Zera ultimate to win you a single round. As the Dark is taking a lot of damage here. Ion going right in the back and sticks it, able to find one.
Okay, this is quite the play from Envy. It's working out for Ion. Converts 2 and make it 3. He's in a menace. And he's in the back rooms in QOR. This is the horror game they did not sign up for. And that means Nerve, because of this deep smoke, I don't even know if the recon can get much seen into the site. So Alum do his Zera impression and really let loose. And Ion, he's on his last leg. And Alum swaps out the gun and doesn't expect Envy still back here. Oh, jeez. What a round for Ion.
The knife in the back coming from Ion, sticking the TP, finding that first kill, and then just being such a nuisance. And that little bit of additional space is more than enough to signal the rest of the Envy players, hey guys, look at me. I am all the way back here. You can come this way too, and it's gonna be great. We can all have a lot of fun. And the rest of Envy kind of funnel their way forwards and just isolate and find those kills. They take the space to take the fight so far forward that they're not even worried about the post plan. And that is more characteristic of what we expect from Envy. This time around, QOR now forced onto a save. I think this is the first one that we've seen thus far in this series, as 100 series gets let loose to try and scout things out.
Making things pretty hectic for the QOR side, but Darkest counters with the rolling thunder with a bunch of sheriffs. Ion flashed up. Alum takes the mantle, and the tip of the spear goes through the hearts of Envy and gives a thrifty over to QOR.
The value off of a single ultimate with that rolling thunder. Envy have been consistently playing together. Darkest, so aware of what was going to go on, immediately pop it, and you see the flood in completely. Envy are completely caught by surprise. And to me, this just shows a little bit of lack of, I don't know if like respect is the right way to describe it, but just being aware of what the enemy team is bringing to the table, understanding that that ultimate could get let loose at any time, and not really having anything really to keep that in control just in case it finds maximum value, which it did. So an excellent round from Core as Envy. It's the last round of the half. They're looking to try and make this one a 7-5.
Just a legendary play from Darkus to take down a legendary team and to not let them build momentum or a win streak. And we're so used to Envy just kind of having these one-sided series. And in this map, one of their best maps in the Envy pool, they've only been able to win 2 rounds in a row at most. And you just saw how quickly that streak ended. Now the pace down to molasses for Envy. And this is a very familiar point of the map where Envy gave an ace to Alum for all the smokes and the chaos that happened here. Always got to be wary for where Alum will be. His eye on Paranoia too. This could be how they strike through. Yes, Paranoia will blind Alum, protects himself with the wall, and there's the hunt down for Envy. Inspire with a heads-up play. Poppin' always good for one, but these defenders, these anchors for Core are not done yet. But now when push comes to shove and the pressure is on, Envy just better in these critical moments.
Spike planted.
Tuesday's in a 1v3, and it will end in a killed contract. And the rest will watch as KaneZera takes the dub, and it's a 7-5 half for Core.
Yeah, a great job from Envy, a great flood in that time around. Excellent use of KaneZera's ultimate. Just make sure that you win that one, because even then, like, as soon as he catches him, you see the rest of Envy just flood in ready to, just in case KaneZera doesn't win it, we can just dominate as soon as he kind of comes back into it. But this is just a nice flood in from the squad. You know, they just walk in, clear all their corners, find their opportunities, and it works out perfectly. So it's still in contention at this point. 7-5, we're swapping sides now. Envy fighting for map 3 while Core are fighting to secure their spot in playoffs alongside Qbert Academy. And let's see how this initiation goes, because Core, clearly their playbook is a lot deeper than a lot of these teams expect.
For sure. And Core are 3-0 in pistols as well. Look at this walk down 2 from Envy. Core were so good at breaking up the duelists from the supporting line, just using Sentinel util. It's a different look when you have a Jet dashing in. But now Envy are just this death ball that are so hard to peel apart. And it usually comes down to a death match, and who can flick better. And now you just have Core really slowing it down.
Yeah, seriously. And this is the thing, like, when I was talking about the playbook of Core, they have so many different styles that they like to pull into, whether or not it's the slow one, whether or not it's like the fast pop style. And they've been playing really well off of Darkus' utility.
Ooh, the vulnerable right into Core as they swung. Timing was perfect from KaneZera, and a first blood 2 smokes up. We should probably try to re-clear elsewhere, but with always a flank looming from Envy, I'm sure Core are not comfortable, but the hesitation is going to cost them. They're still getting shot through the smoke, and it's Logan and Tuesday. They're just left with nothing this round. Hoping to double their value this time, but ultimately an Envy pistol at the end.
Yeah, and honestly, it just came down to KaneZera just standing in the smoke, you know, not yielding a single step backwards, playing so far forwards and finding a couple of kills to make it almost impossible for that really to work out for Core. So an excellent pistol round here. Great understanding of things from KaneZera to make sure that it gets so much more difficult, and the rest of Envy are ready to back him up. So let's see how this one goes. We're seeing Alum actually go with a Bucky this time around, which should be a little bit interesting, but given how much Alum has been popping off on this Neon, I'd say it's well earned. Poppin' already finding Tuesday.
Oh, Alum is close enough to convert on the Bucky. Just spent too much time tap dancing than shooting. So Poppin will have a window to capitalize on that. And Exter's in position. A 2-for-1, sure.
What was that?
This is about to be flawless. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Exter with the flick? That was 2 heads in one? One of them jumping? That is crazy coming through, but that's good. The Envy boys are starting to heat up a little bit more, and you know, you can't be relying on Kane Zera and Poppin to be the only two players who can secure these multi-kills so early on into this round. Look at that flick. That's crazy. Should have been at least through the box, but no, not going to be the case. So Envy, they tie things up right now, as it is going to be the rifle round for Core. We do see that they are going to be bringing one stinger in, so a little bit of a misspy from Darkness there. But already Kane Zera just kind of spraying things down with the Odin to make sure that they keep that B site in check.
Oh my God. It's like in his name. He is the ultimate defender, the guardian of A. And this is why Envy, this is one of their best maps, not just because of the comfort picks around the duelist, but Poppin's ability to protect A on his last dying breath. Core are still gonna have the firing squad, but unfortunately stacked together. And Exter gets an edge against Tuzi. And Core haven't really flip-flopped sights. Once they're committed, they're staying on, and they're not gonna let Logan develop on the lurk. Gonna keep committing to this. Envy watching over from above, flash out, Exter no contact. And Nerve sits in short and now presses with the help of Darkest, and Core at least trade together. 2 versus 2, and Inspire just walks down lane. Not expecting Core to just be that forward. He got a high-low that Ion tries to break up, and he can't. What a retake from, or well, what a post plan from Core, I should say.
I was gonna say, Ion almost got a kill there, almost made it a possible win scenario on a 2v1 type of deal. But yeah, once again, it's just the awareness, making sure to swing off of one another, playing together, getting these trades. That was so deadly there. Exter almost got a 2 for 1 there, almost finding Darkest as well. But I mean, wow, it is so close between these two teams. Take a look at the kill feed right now. Alim sitting at 17 kills at the moment, has been having just an unbelievable performance in this matchup against Envy. And once again, they've got their eyes set on this A site.
Who's gonna have their eyes open? No blinking, crossing the smoke, Poppin. Always a multi-kill, always good for at least one. But this is now split open the A site, calling for Ion to fill that gap, and even Kane Zera, because Core usually have stuck to the site that they first hit. Now the rest of the map's looking open. They're able to activate Logan a lot more.
At least it was an effective trade from both of these sides there. A 2 for 2 evened things out, make it a little bit more possible, but most importantly, they did find Poppin, who had the Hunter's Fury online. And that could have been an excellent tool either to stall or flush things out. It allows the C site to be a lot more possible to win if you are Core. And that's why they're making their way over.
Some delay being created by Inspire. There's eventually someone's going to have to cross to their right side, and Clip Darkest didn't get the kill. Inspire gets the last laugh, but Core trying to get ahead of the game and lurk within the smoke. And okay, Tuzi with a big hug to Kane Zera, jumping in. But Tuzi didn't get the plant down yet. Oh, we heard the drop down from Ion. Maybe this is all a distraction and a bait now within his own smoke. Tuzi didn't drop the spike, and Inspire, a quick reaction, a quick stab, and it's Envy that tie.
And a great read from Envy, understanding how maybe Tuzi was going to be able to escape out of that. The ultimate being very close to being online. Don't give yourself up. Don't allow the teleport to happen. And let's just play things nice and chill. We know that we can take the timing, force that clock down to make sure that you can win things out. And yeah, excellent just combo utility. They're kind of like the micro plays that we see from Envy always are very impressive. They're always playing off of each other, calling for those individual moments, playing for the kills. So Envy keep this close, 8-8 now, as Core are sent back onto a save. Envy still have 2 ultimates online, and that kill contract could be extremely important if things get a little bit too dicey.
Envy are 3-1 on this half. Looking for Exter to get a surprise. He hasn't checked this before. Also have Envy just relying on the camera there, getting a ping, and Exter just gets swung on. Okay, Alum is crazy. Inspires a 1. It's going to get crazy for him too very soon. We have Ion watching over him like an angel, and Core just, I like that they're bouncing around different sites too. This is Alum more of a macro game. I don't know how long this Odin's gonna live, and even Zera gets his one, but eventually gets overwhelmed by QOR, but QOR took so much damage on the approach that it's not looking good for them, and Envy are now in the lead.
Yeah, Envy, they swing back 9-8 now. And one thing is for sure, if you are QOR, that Odin is kind of scary. It's now been 2 rounds where this Odin fire has really either done so much damage or has gotten so many kills through smokes when you weren't even prepared for it. And this is something that we've seen cainzera do multiple times on different maps. When the Odin is out, it's a lot more, we're just gonna bunker down and spray things down and get maximum value out of that thing. So QOR now gonna be taking a time out here as Envy take the lead for the first time on this map, actually in this series, as QOR still looking to potentially close this out 2-0, but Envy are right back into things.
Yeah, Envy is just keep coming up with new tricks, from standing on top of the box on C to now just bringing in the Odin, spraying down mid, to Envy walking up in the smoke of A main with 2 in there and just brawling at points that you don't expect. So QOR always have to keep their head on a swivel, be on their toes at all times, and be ready to scrap. And you kind of have to play this buddy system if you're QOR, because that's what Envy are doing.
And honestly, like, it's completely flipped on its head. You would have expected this composition with that double duelist from Envy to be more aggressive, be more on that attacking side, and yet right now, we've seen them really start to spread their wings and fly here on the defense. Still holding on to their ultimates too in these next couple of rounds. Extra just one away from the dimensional drift. QOR bringing an Odin of their own in the hands of Nerve. Nerve one away from getting that ultimate online. QOR are getting close to establishing a couple of win conditions here as they flood onto this B site, just kind of sidestepping the Odin spray.
Envy spent a lot of util and a lot of time to the right side, and I guess just to rely on Exter and the friends of Envy to flood back into the B site. I thought it was going to be harder than that. QOR can still play through main and just spam down the spike if needed. The aftershocks were invested. Nerve still has the Odin, and he's traded. Envy are layering up, getting above the smoke, getting ahead of the game, and it's just Darkest. He's in a 1 versus 2, has to pick his time to swing onto the spike at the right time. Now Poppin has had to drop, and it gets halfway. And just like a popcorn, he pops, and Darkest evens things up 9-9.
I was going to say, there might have been a miscomm there. I'm 99% sure Darkest accidentally flashed one of his team members in window, giving the advantage back over to Envy. And it felt like it was one of those rounds where, you know, if Darkest just gets a kill, the Rolling Thunder can be online. This is so winnable for QOR. And Envy were denying that. They stayed alive throughout all of it and forced Darkest down to that 1v2. But as soon as Darkest finds that kill, the win condition is established. The Rolling Thunder comes online, and it's going to be a guaranteed win, because there's nothing you can really do as you get forced up and stunned by that ultimate. So QOR fighting tooth and nail. They close out that round perfectly as Envy, well, Exter got the Bucky, looking for a timing. We'll find just that on the Logan.
All right, Alum ult already gets one low, and before Exter could even use a dimensional drift, I don't know, he looked pretty shadowy there, and nonetheless, QOR hold their ground, and they're just always kicking Envy where it hurts, not ever letting them get a clear advantage, never letting them get a win streak. And even Darkest, these ults have come down to these clutch or kick scenarios. Nothing much more that Poppin can do. QOR up to double digits, couple more rounds away from giving Envy their second loss in all of Challengers.
I'm 99% sure Exter, like that Yoru bottle, had the mask just like an inch away from his mouth and just gets fried there, was phasing out of reality, and once again, just doesn't quite work out well. Different look from QOR, mind you. They decide to go fast, and it still looks good. You can see the coordination coming through. It looks good when they do decide to go for that faster play style, and this has broken Envy's economy yet again. They're back onto pistols, back onto Poppin having a stinger here as QOR, they slow things down yet again, expecting a little bit more aggression here, but have the weaponry to deal with it.
Yeah, you gotta expect crazy from Envy, but Core are matching their freak, and that's all that matters. They just do not hesitate when it comes to making a big play. They all have the confidence to just go for it. And Core, no, Inspire. What a 2-for-1 is crazy with the share of neural theft. Thrifty opportunity for Envy. Wait a minute.
That's crazy. On top of that too, yeah, neural theft giving away all the positions now. So you see Envy immediately readjust themselves. They know they've got a little bit more space to work with. They don't need to push into it. They can play it a little bit slower. And so they do decide to make their way towards this A site. Weapon advantage still strong, but they are definitely lacking in numbers. And this is an opportunity for Envy to turn this back around and tie up the map again.
The silver lining for Core is that the weapons that were dropped are so deep into their territory. Envy can't recover them, but they almost don't even care. But having to retake with Sheriffs is not going to be great. Maybe Poppin can get into heaven here with the Stinger. Kill contract from KaneZera. That's going to be interesting. We'll watch that in the pip while Poppin is kind of messed up on his jump up in heaven. Rest of Core put the red carpet down of Envy Blood, and it's just Inspire in a 1 versus 1. The thrifty opportunity still alive. Not the best weapon to quick flick into Inspire. Taps the spike. Mind games, and Alum delivers.
Right now, Alum is Neon IRL. I'm convinced. Like, that's kind of crazy. Gets a no-scope. Hold on to the outlaw in the midst of all of the flood through. Sure, Envy, once again, they were coming in with pistols there, but they were shooting and they were ready to overwhelm. And that outlaw, 2 shots and then you got to reload all of a sudden. So not the best weapon to kind of stand your ground with, but still works out perfectly. Logan, of course, finding the kill there is what you want to see, and the shorty to seal the deal as Core find themselves at 11-9. 2 more rounds to send Envy down another series, which is something that honestly nobody was really expecting.
Yeah, a 3 versus 5 turnaround from Core, but ultimately maybe not giving up those weapons to Envy maybe made the whole difference. Now Alum is lurking about through main. Inspire has to be big, but somehow KaneZera's picked through the smoke. How? How do Core just keep getting away with this?
It's so unlucky too. It almost feels like one of those moments that you'd expect KaneZera to be able to just find a lucky kill through a smoke. And this time around, unfortunately, is on the recipient end of it. We haven't really seen KaneZera pop off as much as we would have liked to on this map, where we know Envy like to fly. And still, it's going to be Core slowly meandering their way around the map. Look at all this util ready to go. Like, they are a coordinated squad.
You still have the Hunter's Fury to lay back. Envy got to shred down these forces, or this post plane's about to get deadly, and you can't afford match points. Alum drops a chance for Envy, but the Core synergy, this army marches forward and claims the C site for theirs. And it's Poppin that'll be discovered on the flank. Envy haven't been able to blossom at all on one of their best fronts. And this is Core that can bring also 4 weapons, maybe not even needing to invest any of these ultimates. Surely this is a Core win after this round.
Yeah, at this point, Poppin just has to save that rifle. Look at the money for Envy. Oh, no, don't give away your position. That was just a check. That was just a check. No need to be scared yet, Poppin, you're good. But yeah, the money on Envy's side is just not ideal. They're down to almost $0 across the board. KaneZera with 50 credits, Ion with only 250. So Poppin has to make sure to stay alive and will at least find 1 kill, but the jig is going to be up. Position should be given away. Should be able to carry this rifle forwards. This is Core right now on match point against Envy, queuing up a potential 2-0 victory against them.
It was such a quiet start to the half for Core. First giving up the pistol, going down 1-4. Envy looked like they were making the comeback, and they did. There was a point where Envy were in the lead. And then Core just took over. And honestly, not even killing Poppin there. I thought this was like a tell Cersei it was me, like send a message to the rest of Envy, you know? A little charitable, you get to keep your gun, but Core are done with that.
Yeah, we'll put you down to 50 HP just to give you a warning this time around.
Yeah, warning shots.
Yeah. Just so you know, we could have killed you. However, we decided to let you live so you can tell the tale to the rest of your team. I'm loving this lore right now. But yeah, now moving into this next one. This is, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not looking good for Envy. You look at the money that they're bringing into this. We're going to be seeing one rifle bought up, 2 Stingers, as well as a Guardian. And of course, we see the 1 rifle carried over. But on the flip side, it's just money galore for Core and ultimates galore. We've seen how impactful a lot of these ultimates can be, and especially when you're coming in with the Rolling Thunder alongside the Sova ultimate as well. It's just so much to be able to just annihilate the team. You stun them up, get the Hunter's Fury to zap them a couple of times, you get the information, it's all looking nice, clean, and cut. And so Core understand that this is their winning round, and they are playing patiently, which once again shows how much they respect Envy.
Envy not playing so patient, just throwing something at the wall, see what sticks, and it's Core sticking to their spawn, holding the line, and Envy down 2 already. They're star players, and it just, when it rains, it pours, it's a hemorrhage, and it turns into an extra 1v5. With all the ults in the world for Core, one of them out, and it's the neural theft. Oh, now we're going hunting. It's not duck season, it's extra season, and he's holding back the forces of Core, but for how long can you run? Because you can't hide. There's a shotgun where the sun don't shine. It's a flawless end of round, and honestly, a flawless series from Core to give Envy their 2nd loss, and for Core to go to playoffs.